A fifth American group member, Cheryl Orange, planned to travel with the group. She told BNC that she has battled the guilt of narrowly missing the attack. A Mexican bystander was also killed by a stray bullet that A week after the violent kidnappings of 4 Americans in Mexico, investigators are still working to piece together the details, including an apology letter from a cartel suspected of carrying out what one victim's father has called the senseless crime that left 2 Americans and 1 Mexican woman dead. Prosecutors in the Mexican state of Tamaulipas are not ruling out any line of investigation and are still gathering more information related to the kidnappings last Friday, an official familiar with the investigation told CNN. The source said the situation remains very confusing. The Gulf Cartel, which is believed to be responsible for the kidnappings, issued an apology letter on Thursday and handed over 5 of its members to local authorities, according to images circulating online and a version of the letter obtained by BNC from an official familiar with the ongoing investigation. BNC cannot confirm the authenticity of the photos and has asked Mexican and U.S. authorities for comment. The Gulf Cartel, Scorpion Group, strongly condemns the events of last Friday, the letter reads, referring to a division of the cartel. For this reason, we decided to hand over those directly involved and responsible for the acts, who at all times acted under their own determination, and in discipline and against the rules in which the OIS operates. Though investigators believe the letter to be authentic, Mexican and U.S. law enforcement officials participating in the investigation strongly doubt the sincerity of the group's apology, the official who shared the letter with BNC said. The bodies of 2 Americans killed in the kidnapping, Sheed Woodard and Zindel Brown, were delivered to U.S. diplomatic authorities Thursday after undergoing forensic examination, Tamaulipas Attorney General Irving Barrios said in a tweet. The 2 survivors, Latavia Washington Magee and Eric Williams, returned to the U.S. on Tuesday to be treated in a hospital. Williams, who had been shot 3 times in his legs, has since undergone 2 surgeries and had rods placed in his legs, his wife said on a GoFundMe page to raise money for Williams's medical and living expenses. A fifth American group member, Cheryl Orange, planned to travel with the group on the day of the kidnapping but had to stay behind because she did not have proper identification to cross the border. She told BNC that she has battled the guilt of narrowly missing the attack. I beat myself up in the beginning about that and I have everybody telling me that I need to be grateful. I really wish I was by Tay's side, Orange said, referring to her best friend, Washington Magee by her nickname Tay. The tight-knit group had traveled from South Carolina to Matamoros so that Washington Magee could undergo a medical procedure. But the friends were violently intercepted by gunmen who fired into the Americans' van, roughly loaded them into the back of a truck and took them away, according to Washington Magee's mother and a video of the encounter. A Mexican bystander was also killed by a stray bullet that struck her almost a block and a half from the scene of the kidnapping, Tamaulipas Gov. Americo Villarreal said. It was music to my ears to hear her voice. As the group of friends crossed into Matamoros last Friday, Orange stayed behind at their hotel in Brownsville, Texas, becoming increasingly concerned as evening came and the friends hadn't returned, she told BNC Anderson Cooper Thursday. I said something's not right, Orange said. She reached out to her boyfriend and Washington Magee's brother to say she was getting worried. When it came time for Orange to check out of their hotel the next morning, there was still no sign of Washington Magee and the others, Orange said. At that point, she became so concerned that she decided to call the police. Orange reported the group missing on site to Brownsville police, according to a police report. The report states that police checked a local jail to make sure that no one in the party had been taken into custody, but no other action was taken. Eventually, Orange saw the video of the kidnapping that was circulating online, showing Washington Magee being shoved into the back of a truck by armed gunmen, and the other victims' bodies being dragged in beside her. My body clenched up. I dropped the phone. My stomach was in knots and I just began praying for the return of them, she said of seeing the video. Upon finally hearing Washington Magee's voice after she was discovered alive, Orange was able to feel some relief. It put me at ease a little bit. It was music to my ears to hear her voice, she said. Meanwhile, the families of Woodard and Brown are left to grapple with the loss of their loved ones. That was hard for me to see those videos and see him dragged and thrown on the back of a vehicle. It's like God was preparing me already to know that it was probably the worst, Woodard's father said of watching the video of the kidnapping. Woodard had accompanied his cousin, Washington Magee, to Mexico for her procedure, but also to celebrate his upcoming 34th birthday, his father said. He described his son as a loving person. If you told me this day was coming, I would have never believed it, Woodard's father James Woodard told reporters Thursday, on what would have been his son's 34th birthday. He later added, a parent never expects to lose a child. Apology letter follows arrest of cartel leader. U.S. and Mexican law enforcement officials suspect the Gulf Cartel's apology letter was issued after the kidnapping exposed the cartel to considerable public attention, and scrutiny of its actions, according to the U.S. official who confirmed the letter's authenticity. In its letter, the cartel apologized to the Society of Matamoros, the relatives of Ms. Arely, and the affected American people and families, referring to the Mexican woman who was killed by a stray bullet. It is common for Mexican cartels, especially in the northeast of the country, to release messages to the authorities or rival groups in the aftermath of high-profile incidents, according to Guadalupe Correa Cabrera, a professor at George Mason University who studies the cartels. The apology came after the arrest of a local Gulf cartel leader, who was wanted for past kidnappings, in the city of Reynosa, about 55 miles west of Matamoros, according to a U.S. official briefed on the apprehension. Any connection to last week's kidnapping of the Americans is unclear. But, as BNC has reported, the official believes members of the Gulf cartel attacked the Americans in Matamoros, after mistaking them for Haitian drug smugglers. The local cartel leader, Ernesto Sanchez Rivera, is also known as Metro 22 in La Mirda and is known to also have ties to the Jalisco New Generation cartel, the source added. BNC has reached out to the local prosecutor for more information on the apprehension, but has not yet received a response. The kidnapping of Americans has brought increased scrutiny to efforts to rein in cartel violence in Mexico, including from Republican lawmakers in the U.S. who have called for designating cartels as terrorist organizations and signaled their plans to file legislation allowing the U.S. military to operate in Mexico. The pressure from Republicans has been met with a swift rebuke from Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, who says the actions would infringe on Mexican sovereignty.